Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Monday, November 14, 2022. People, I want to start off with this here. We got yet again, I don't know how many warnings so far, but another warning from the International Mafia Fund, the IMF. Month after month after month for I don't know how long now, we've been hearing from the IMF that the global economy, isn't doing so hot. Imagine my shock. Imagine your shock. Here's the most recent warning. Are you ready? Sit down for this one. So the IMF is warning yet again. I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. That the global economic outlook continues to worsen. Now, what is the IMF actually saying? Well, that the current action of central banks is, working perfectly. What do you and I clearly understand is going on here? Well, it's simple as simple can be. Central banks, public enemy number one, are going out of their way to destroy the global economy, to destroy the global financial system, to issue in a new one, and in the meantime, taking the world population with it. Not so much the well-off and the rich. Okay, they're doing great. I'm talking about the middle class. They're being eliminated. They're being exterminated, and they're being erased, period. The end here. Look, I'm going to cover this again for those of you that maybe are new here. The current action, collective action of central banks is so destructive to the economy and to the financial system, and the people are being sold a lie. And it's continuing even this morning as I'm flipping through the freaking, mainstream propaganda ministry. Oh, they're central banks, the Fed, they're raising rates. They really, really want to fight inflation. It's such a lie. It's not working. It's not meant to work. It was never meant to work from the get-go. How do you think you and I were clear on this since day one? Since day one, when we heard all the announcements, yes, the Fed's going to be raising rates. It's going to help inflation. It's going to help inflation. No, we laughed about it, you and me, because we know it's not meant to do that. It's not meant to slow inflation. It isn't. It's meant to crush demand, period, okay? How can central banks stop inflation in its tracks? By contracting the money supply, by forcing the major financial institutions to hold more capital reserves. The silence here is deafening, and you all know that. So clearly, the IMF is announcing to the world, oh yes, the global economy continues to get worse. Duh, because that's what it's meant to do. As people get destroyed. And inflation, people, let me explain this to you again. Okay, I'm going to say it over and over again until it sinks in. Central banks are going to continue to inflate. The title of my video yesterday, my Markets a Look Ahead, was simply that central banks are going to continue to inflate the global money supply. And think about this, look. You really don't need to be any kind of a person with a high IQ to understand this. If central banks continue to inflate the global money supply collectively, which is what they're going to do, this dilutes the current pool of cash available to chase the same amount of goods or a lesser amount of goods. This is economics 101, people. You learn this the first day you sit down in an economics class. It's the truth. And it sucks the purchasing power clearly out of the currency. And you get inflation. Can I get another duh, please? Okay, duh. Maybe 3 duhs. Duh. I'm telling you, my blood starts to freaking boil with all this, people. But again, no one's going to be told the truth. It's insane. It's utterly insane. So, on top of all this, people, look, you know what's going to happen here. Central banks will fulfill their end game. There is no stopping it. Unless literally, people, we get divine intervention, but don't count on it. Don't count on it, okay? Central banks are in full control of everything right now. Every freaking thing is run by the central banks. Nothing is what it seems to be. You all know that here. But the distraction is, it's the Democrats. It's the Republicans. It's our, whatever it might be. No. If you notice, every manner of deception is used to take people's eyeballs off of the central banks, which are deliberately bringing the world to its knees here, and they are not done by a long shot. So last week, with regard to this market, unbelievable the way it took off here. We watched global bond yields crater, the U.S. dollar relative strength drop. Is this going to continue? Well, look, without a Herculean effort by central banks to keep the illusion of stability here in the global debt markets, well, this thing could go south in the nanosecond. And this morning, we're seeing some of that play out. What am I talking about? The relative strength of the dollar is higher. You got the 10-year yield higher. Did you watch the MMRI last week? I mean, it dropped like a rock. It's very possible that we could see a snapback with regard to global bond yields. I've spoken about this. And look, we got a warning here from BlackRock. You remember, all hell is going to break loose. Well, let's see. Really, look, to me, it's so simple. Everything right now, in order for this market to continue on its current trajectory, needs to see the illusion of stability in the debt market play out, but it's clearly unstable. So central banks are going to up their ante. People are going to continue to inflate the money supply. Realize that it's in your face. Okay, you understand? Number two, the schemes that central banks are going to pull off here with regard to passing vast amounts of cash back and forth between institutions, this repo scam, because that's what it is, to trick the market and that it's more liquid, is going to grow exponentially moving forward. They can't stop what's coming. Nothing can stop what's coming here. You know that. All they can do is put it off. And they're putting off of the inevitable meltdown in the debt market is only going to exacerbate the problem. And that's what their goal eventually is. You know that. A full-on implosion in the debt market, which is going to wipe out the global financial system on an unbelievable scale. I mean, a credit freeze, no transactions, no cash available from your bank accounts. Your cash will be gone. No cash out of the ATMs. All the digits you see on the screen, they may still be there when you go check your bank account, but the money is not there. I think you are well aware of that. Anyway, so let's just cover the market real quick. Stock futures are lower, not by much, but lower nonetheless. The 10-year yield is creeping higher. You have the relative dollar strength higher. Crude oil under some pressure. The setup for the market this morning is not good. Let's see how this plays out. And with regard to the MMRI, again, I'm checking my email box this morning. People, I don't know how to say this another way. Maybe there's a lot of new people here. But it's not so much what that number is. Again, when we crossed 300, you remember what happened. I mean, Nick the Pig got floated out, Oink Man, Fed President Dolly, the gender confused one over there, doesn't know which way is up or down or anything else sideways. Okay, whatever, she just flips a coin. I think we were clear on that one there. But so to a certain degree, yes, okay, the number does matter, but it's the pace at which it's rising. Just for example, last week, the MMRI fell off a cliff and the market took off. So the opposite effect will happen and is going to happen. Again, it's just inevitable that we're going to see bond yields snap back at one point. And I'm talking about a sell-off here in the debt market that people aren't going to believe. And the propaganda ministry, what's happening? Why? Why is it happening? Come on. You got to be kidding me, but that's what's going to happen. Anyway, gold and silver this morning are about flat. Cryptocurrencies catching a bid. Bitcoin back over 17,000. Look, there's all kinds of stuff going on here with regard to crypto. We're going to keep our eye on that space over there. Those of us that I think understand it maybe a little more than the next guy. And you're entitled to your opinion on cryptocurrencies, gold and silver, the market, the debt. You're entitled to your opinion on anything you want. Okay, I'm just telling you the way I see things, and you're allowed to disagree with me, and that's fine to at least disagree on certain things. But I think for the most part, all of you out here understand what's happening, and we need to be people. Prepare yourselves for a worst case scenario, because I can promise you It's coming. There is no way out of it. And all that's going on here with the effort of central banks collectively to fake liquidity in the market, to fake stability in the debt market here, for central banks are going to continue to inflate way faster than before. The global economy continues to fall off a cliff here. This, I'm paraphrasing here with regard to the IMF warning about the global economic outlook worsening. Does that surprise you? Does this surprise you? No. Because you see, the IMF realizes what's going on and they're going to announce these things to the people, but you know what people are going to do? Nothing. They're going to take no action at all. The vast majority of people have no clue at all as to what's going on. They're being distracted. They're being told one thing. You know the scenario. It's always the same story, and it's just not going to change. Just be ready for it. All right, people, look, I've set the stage for you. Let's see what happens this week. Let's see if we get a snapback in the 10-year yield, where we get an uncontrolled spike here. What's the dollar going to do? The MMRI, are we about to see that shoot higher? I mean, all of this is going to give us a big clue as to where the market's going to go. We don't have to guess. Most people are sitting here throwing darts at a board. You and I don't have to do that. Okay, we know what we're doing and why we're doing it. We're not going to stop bidding against the debt, becoming our own central banks here. You want to be in this market? Sure, I tell you what to do. I've been buying a lot of ticker JEPI for quite a long time. Pays a big fat dividend, which is a hell of a hedge in this market here. All right. I want to have exposure. I want to have exposure to the long end of this market right now until I see the debt market really start to tell me a sign, or the MMRI. When the MMRI crossed 300, believe me, I considered closing my position here. It's the only one I own. Ticker JEPI. Look into it for yourself. I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not telling you to buy it and or sell it. Okay, I have to stress that. I've gotten myself into trouble a little bit with this last year, this year too. Anyway, I think you all understand it. Here's my favorite asset of all time, right here. Physical silver, people. In my view, and again, you're entitled to your own opinion, physical silver remains the most undervalued asset on the earth, or off the earth for that matter. There is definitely something wrong with this guy. All right, but he does love you a lot. I love talking about myself in the third person. Why? I have no idea. But I will see all of you at the end of the day. That's all.